Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Valdestat's Voice, and I'm your host, Valdestat. Today's topic is something that I have to talk about, mainly to the customers. Because we're all food gig app workers on multiple platforms, some of these customers may truly not know what actually is going on in the food industry, namely their independent contractor drivers, on how we accept orders and how things work on how we get your food to you. The reason I'm bringing this up is that yesterday, namely last night, in my area there were a couple of restaurants that complained to me about a situation where they had 3, 4, 5 orders at their station that were not getting picked up. And the wait time holding these particular orders ranged anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour and a half. And as a customer, if I were a customer, I'd be pretty puzzled, upset, and wondering why these restaurants aren't getting them their food. So one of the restaurants I was talking to literally asked me, where are the drivers picking up these orders? What is going on? I keep getting called about when they're going to get their order. And she basically had to keep telling them, we're just the restaurant. We do not have any control over when you're going to get your food. And I told her specifically, tell the customers to contact GrubHub, Doordash, UberEats, Postmates, whoever they are that contracted out to get this order. I was a GrubHub driver last night, and I told her, tell them to contact GrubHub. The problem is that we're all independent contractors. And for you customers hopefully listening to this video, we are not employees. They may try to treat us like employees, but we sure aren't paid like employees. We don't get minimum wage. We get no benefits whatsoever. All we get is a measly $2 to $3 base pay. Barely $2 even sometimes. And I'm talking about UberEats. So realistically, if you were a driver making anywhere from $2 to $3 on base pay, where do you think we get the rest of our income from? Because we're not drivers out of our generosity or doing, volunteer work. We're out here to make money. And since the gig apps are literally fighting with each other to stay number one, number two, whatever you want to call it, to stay relevant in the food gig app industry, the drivers are the ones that get hurt the most because they want to decrease our pay as much as possible, which has been happening over the past year. We don't get paid very much. So they have shifted the burden on paying us to you, the customers, with the tips. Yes, that's right. You, the customer. And if you don't tip, our offers are typically anywhere from about $3 to $5 maximum. And that's not a lot of money waiting around for an order from anywhere from 1 minute on the best case scenario, or 1 hour for GrubHub, that is, on the worst case scenario, or even longer. And why would we, as drivers, want to wait more than 10 minutes for any order? Because time is money. So it's partly the restaurant's fault for not getting the orders ready beforehand by the time we get there, because a lot of drivers I know of will simply reassign the order if the order's not ready at that time. But on the flip side, the restaurants don't want to make the food if a driver isn't there to get it immediately either. But on the restaurant side as well, I hate to say it, but they don't put priority on takeout orders. They put priority on people that are in the restaurant. I've heard this on many occasions. So it is literally a war between low pay from the gig apps themselves, the restaurants battling with drivers on when we're going to get our order to deliver to the customer, and the customers basically not tipping well enough to make a driver want to accept that order to deliver it quickly. There's fault all the way around, and the drivers are caught in the middle of it. So keep this in mind, customers, that if you tip less than $5, chances are you're not going to get your food quickly. I would say at the bare minimum, if you at least tip $3, chances are you will get your food in a timely manner, at least in my market. And I'm in a small market, because your $3 tip will be added on to our base pay and at least get us $5 to $6 for the order. Now, there's a condition, caveat, however you want to say it. If you order from, let's say, a restaurant that is more than 5 miles from your house, drivers will not take that order unless you tip accordingly. And if they do tip that order, don't think that you're going to get it quickly. It's just the way it is. You got to remember, we're out here to make a living. And if you think that not tipping or tossing only $1 or $2 tip is going to make you get that order quickly, you're going to be in for a rude awakening, or you may not even get your order at all. So, rule of thumb, customers, you may not like this video, but it's the reality. You may not like this information, but it's the reality. If you want your food quickly, order from a pizza restaurant that has its own delivery drivers, because they get paid minimum wage plus tips. And minimum wage, as you know, in the United States is $7.25. Independent contractors get paid anywhere from $2 to $3 from the gig app plus tips, distance, and time on certain platforms. So if you don't at least tip $3 or more, don't think you're going to get your order quickly. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there it is. So, in other words, tip your driver accordingly based on the distance that you are from the restaurant you are ordering from. If you can do that, everything will run smoothly. You'll get your food. So, with that in mind, have a great day. I hope the information was helpful to the customers for these gig apps. And if you choose not to heed the advice or the warning, best of luck to you. Because I can tell you now, 95% of drivers will probably not take your order. And if you do happen to get your order taken, they're probably a new driver. But even new drivers, after they gain experience, will, not get your order. So, with that being said, have a great day. And hopefully this information was helpful, not just to the customers, but also to drivers. Have a great night, all.